Is it possible we're in the last week of summer? Are we even in summer? College kids are already back at classes. Public schools kick off Wednesday here in most of the North Country. Is it fall already? But if you look at the arts event calendar, it still feels like summer. Tons of things to enjoy, including the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts annual roadshow of a real live musical. We get a preview of the last 5 years on today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Pearsall Wealth Management of Raymond James, Glens Falls, offering financial planning and investing advice to clients for over 40 years. Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Thursday, August 27th. First up, it's a special birthday today in southern St. Lawrence County. Rural healthcare facilities are struggling nationwide and here in the North Country, but in Star Lake, a tiny hamlet in St. Lawrence County's Adirondack foothills, the smallest hospital in New York State is surviving and growing despite the uphill battle. Richard Haller has more.
When Clifton Fine Hospital was built in the 1950s, there was a large paper mill and a mine that employed many people in the community. But the hospital has had to find ways to keep its footing as Star Lake has steadily lost population. It's the smallest hospital in New York State, with just 20 beds and about 100 employees. The hospital is celebrating its 75th anniversary today.
We've had to reinvent ourselves many times over the years to frankly survive.
That's CEO Deirdre Sorrell. She says the hospital was losing over $2 million a year when it was a critical access care facility.
So it was pretty clear to me that that wasn't going to be a sustainable model, and we would likely be the next the next headline that Clifton Fine Hospital is closing.
So last year, Clifton Fine became the first rural emergency hospital in the state. It had to give up its inpatient services, treating patients in hospital for more than 48 hours. But it's now receiving a stipend of $280,000 a month from the federal government. Sorrell says this money is the only reason it survived. The hospital opened an emergency room late last year and will start providing a new infusion and wellness center. Sorrell says that keeping this hospital alive is critical for a community that's an hour drive from the next closest healthcare option.
This community gets accidents far up on, we've got all of the hills that people climb and ice fishing. People go through the ice. I mean, people have heart attacks, people have strokes. If we weren't where we are, you are in good weather, minimally 1 hour from any kind of care.
Clifton Fine Hospital is hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new infusion and wellness center alongside a celebration of its 75th anniversary. Richard Haller, North Country Public Radio.
Every summer, the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts stages new productions and takes its shows on the road. This year, it's presenting the modern musical The Last 5 Years. Performances kick off this weekend in Essex. Catherine Wheeler stopped by rehearsal to talk with the show's director and its 2 stars.
Did I just hear an alarm start ringing?
Sam Balzac is working through some impromptu choreography, waving his arms and shuffling around a small stage inside of the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts.
Things are moving too fast.
The space looks like a living room of a great camp. Wood panels cover the walls and ceiling. Elk and deer trophies face the audience. Out the windows behind Balzac, Blue Mountain Lake laps on the shore. Every now and then, his director, Meg Trelease, steps in with some feedback.
Right here, thank you. Okay, let's, since your impulse is...
But she says she doesn't have to do a whole lot.
Because the show is so beautifully written, and the story's so compelling, and the narrative is so clear, that it's just kind of like when I have actors like Hannah and Sam, I just kind of sit back and let them and the writing do all of the work.
Trelease is also the artistic director for the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts. And this year, she's heading up a production of the musical The Last 5 Years. The show features just 2 characters, struggling musical theater actress Kathy Hyatt, played by Hannah Aiken, and young rising star writer Jamie Wellerstein, played by Balzac. Each is telling the story of their relationship. Only Jamie tells the story from beginning to end, while Kathy starts at the end of their marriage and works her way back to their courtship. Trelease says it's a more unusual storytelling experience. The two stars only acknowledge each other during one song, but it's easy to be drawn into its universe.
The sort of crux of the relationship is that Jamie has hit great heights of fame with his first novel. He wrote this first novel that's a great big hit, his career sort of skyrocketing. Kathy's career as a musical theater actress floundering a little bit. And I think through the stress of the different ways their careers are progressing, their relationship kind of falls apart.
You know what makes me nuts? The fact that we could be together here, together sharing our night, spending our time, and you're going to choose someone else to be with.
The two actors in the production, Sam Balzac and Hannah Aiken, know a little bit about this. They're a real-life couple based in New York City.
We came into this knowing that we would need to build some emotional constructs to not think about each other playing this difficult relationship. And we've worked together several times in several different contexts. So I think this is mostly actually just pretty fun for us to see each other work and to be able to work alongside each other.
You know, the other aspect of this is us both being in the arts and both being creatives as well. We both write and Hannah makes films. And so this is something we've already kind of personally explored, is like, when does it feel like the other person is, you know, a little further down the road in their career in any given moment, and that's kind of flipped back and forth over the course of our relationship.
Trelease says the fictional couple's power dynamic is really the star, and something audiences will be able to relate to no matter where they are in their lives. She's directed productions of the last 5 years 4 times. The first when she was 23 years old.
And now here we are, like a very long time later. I won't tell my age, but what's so fun for me right now is I'm finding new things. Like, I'm married. I'm in a long-term marriage, and I see new shades of this relationship and complexities. And the thing about the last 5 years is it's very universal. It's really, the spine of it is you can truly be in love with someone, and that love can be so real, but that's sometimes not enough. And that's so heartbreaking, and I think that's very universal, and I think that audiences can relate to that.
Trelease says presenting a modern story like this is bringing new arts experiences to the people who live here.
One of the missions that we have here at Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts is to bring arts throughout the park. And we also want to be able to bring this sort of high-end entertainment to the Adirondack Park that maybe folks around here wouldn't have access to unless they drove a very long time. This show offers a really beautiful high-end chamber musical, but also pushes the envelope a little bit emotionally. The way that the narrative, they're passing each other in time. It asks a little bit more of an audience. It's a little bit more sophisticated. So it just felt like the right choice.
While actor Sam Balzac lives in New York City now, he's originally from right up the road in Jay. He says he's excited to get to perform near his hometown in the coming days.
I've never done a show at the Adirondack Lakes Center for the Arts before, and I'd heard wonderful things about it, especially from the casts of the Shakespeares for the past couple of years, and had gotten to see a couple of those productions as well and was really blown away. So, yeah, I was just kind of thrilled to have an opportunity to perform.
You can catch Balzac and Aiken in the 80K Lakes Theater Festival's production of the last 5 years, starting this Saturday at the Essex Theater Company in Essex. If you're still on the fence, Trelease has a really simple pitch.
Have your heart broken and put back together again in 90 minutes. We can do it.
More performances are scheduled for Indian Lake, North Creek, Old Forge, and Blue Mountain Lake in the following days. Ticket info and details are at ncpr.org. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in Blue Mountain Lake.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Gretchen Kohler and Daniel Kelly of Potsdam and Mark Corey of Watertown. I'm David Sommerstein, North Country Public Radio.